So today I actually want to talk about to play freely, to actually play freely. There are 10 steps in order to play freely without spending a single cent. And if you follow these steps completely to the end, I promise you this will give you the guidance to be able to perform that very task. There is a lot to do, a lot to think about, but follow my steps here, listen to my advice, and you'll get to the very end. Let's get straight to it. Step number 1. You need to find out when you first enter a kingdom and you step into it, you are in brand new territory. And frankly, that kingdom there is going to be in a bubble for 3 months. Now we know very clearly that that blocks you off from the rest of other kingdoms so they can't suddenly assault you, which is the whole idea. So those who are brand new, listen very clearly guys, your kingdom is locked for 3 months. This 3-month barrier will protect you as you all grow, but eventually that will disappear. The admin will then send you a prompt saying your kingdom bubble is going to pop open, and that will then leave you open for attacks from every other single kingdom that's in all the servers that's available. Now, from counting from this video here, I believe we have up to about 300-ish kingdoms open now, and I feel all of them are still locked in. So up to kingdom 304 at this stage from this video. And what I'm trying to get at here, guys, is that this really works out for those who are brand new. Even if you haven't and you happen to be an older senior player, but not sure how to do it yourself and you end up spending money anyway, well, I'll follow these guides and it kind of works out and you can see how I do it. After this, when you first enter in your main kingdom, the next question is very simple, is that you have to understand very quickly, does this kingdom have a king? Does this kingdom have an established ROE? So you can find out very quickly by merely just going out to your fast screen. You'll notice that straight away on the world map that your kingdom that you're in will have a name. So you see here that king blah 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 and whoever is the champion, right? They're champion for that kingdom area. And you'll notice here is that would mean that that area has an established king and palace members as well as pretty much rulings because they won COD, which is Clash of the Thrones. And that, then if you look into your clan areas here, you pretty much see here very clearly that this is where they reside and this is your kingdom, right? Basically where you are. If there is no established ROE, there's no rules of engagement. That's what it is. And that happens if you happen to be in a very, very fresh kingdom. But don't fret so much. Eventually, a couple of days when COD comes up, then you will get a king, you have people in the palace, and basically that will become your guidelines of where your kingdom's direction is going to be based on your RE. And that can make change multiple times based on those who disagree with certain pointers, and that will change the way you establish yourself within that kingdom, which is very important. But here's a golden rule if that is the case. You need to follow through in order to gain gold. Gold being the most vital item that you need in order to succeed and grow. And even in a small account, without this, you will get stuck and you hit that fourth wall, which pretty much allows you to not succeed any further. So how do you achieve this? What do you need to do? Your goal now is to pivot in making sure that you collect mine that focuses on dragon mounts, which is your main target here goals. You got things from level 5, and if you see gold mines, that means it's created by players. Don't collect theirs. That's not what you're meant to do here. Your goal here is to collect dragon mounts. You want those dragon mounts. So with these dragon mounts here, guys, we can see right now there's only level 5, but there are high level tiers. Your task here, my friends, is to make sure that you hit these gold mines, these dragon mounts very early in the game. That would be the pivoting point of where you better grow your account very quickly because you need to get the gold necessary to climb up. And with the very start of the game, you're not paying a cent. So the whole idea is to play this completely free, but you have to follow the strategy very, very down-packed. So the idea is that you got to click these gold mines and you're going to hunt them. Now, you're going to be asking me, Alex, but if that's the case, then that means I'll be waiting for 15 hours, 18 hours, 1 day. That's true. When you're a small account, that's how long it's going to take you to be able to gain every single gold piece from that dragon mount. But that's not what you're trying to do. You're trying to make sure that you gather as much gold as you can because you're in the Wild Wild West. And only if there's a registration that's involved, that's actually placed in your kingdom, that's the only other way you're going to get it. But that's more fair to play because now you're registering for each gold mine that you collect. And therefore there will be palace guards to protect you and so forth. But it isn't, it is the Wild Wild West, and especially at that early stage in the kingdom. So your goal is to hit it and watch it for as long as you can and then run away as many times as possible to collect that gold very slowly. It's a slow process, but ultimately you will gain the gold that you need because you can't rely on your clan as of yet, not especially this early in the game. This is now stage 2, which is deception. Stage 2 is just as important because your goal here now, guys, is to be extremely deceptive because you want to target particular groups within different clans. So you want to go to clans. Your goal here now, guys, is to be deceptive. You want to make sure that you actually target the top 3 clans in your kingdom, the top 3. Don't mind the numbers you see here. The idea, guys, is that you need to target your top 3 because you're in that close kingdom. And here's basically your plan of approach. When you reach out to them and you're trying to get into the top 3 clans, they're going to ask you a few things. One reason is this: why should they accept you for being such a small account? Now, you can pivot yourself to drop yourself in one of the top 3 clans in your kingdom by merely telling them that you have the knowledge of someone who's been playing several years. You can make sure you tell them that you have a lot of ideas and approaches that you can do as a superior because you have a lot of years experience behind your back. You show them a fake account with another kingdom, therefore being deceptive, and tell them very clearly that you will send your account over after the kingdom bubble pops open. So when the kingdom bubble pops open, you're promising them that you're going to join them soon afterwards by allowing yourself to be involved in their clan, to give them advice, to be a superior, and to guide them through what they need to do, and also to be very involved. If you let your small account to join their clan to grow. And a lot of clans, you'll find that they will accept you for that very skill alone, for being a senior player, because they want to make sure they want to gather the best players within the kingdom. And you can be one of them. So the questions you're going to ask me now is, if that's the case, Alex, and I don't know how to play, I don't know anything about the game, and I'm new, how would that work for me? I can't do that. The answer is not true. Yes, you can. You can go in there completely a novice, not knowing anything, because they're not seeing your face. And because they can't see your face, everything's in text. That's where it gets very deceptive, and you don't know who that person is, because you don't need to know who that person is. All you care about is what they know. Now, the information is everywhere. You can go into my own channel, go through the episodes that's there, and they'll give you all the guidance you need to kind of pivot to wherever you need in every single tournament, in every single challenge, and so forth. You may have other people that you follow. That's up to you. It doesn't matter what you do, but the idea is that you happen to choose a platform where someone is knowledgeable in the topic and talks about it very fluently. When they do, what happens is that you now have a bank of information so that you can pivot off with and then speak out of your backside, being not using any curse words here, but that will allow you to sell yourself as more of a senior role player. So you get my drift here? You're basically just telling them what you're seeing and watching as you learn, but you're selling your point as a superior, as someone who's played this game for years in the game and pretty much putting yourself as a senior player. And that's how you have to do it. After your deceptive point and you now gain a position, your job now is to maintain that over the next 3 months, because now you can grow in a clan where everyone's collecting high-level chests without spending a single cent. And I've done this over and over and over again, so you guys can do exactly the same thing. By doing so, all you have to provide is your advice. All you need to provide is your guidance, and if you can do that and you can pivot that direction, then you're safe for the next 3 months. After that period is over, okay, step 3 here is now you've found an established clan within the top 3 clans there. You're now able to grow your account without needing to spend any money, and you have to remember that stage 3 is about selecting tournaments that you compete in, but in a way that pivots to you where you're not losing out. And what do I mean by that? What am I saying here? What I'm trying to tell you here very clearly is that when you jump into these particular tournaments, you're only doing things that allow you to essentially playing the main tournaments. So you things like the Tin Man event, which is the Ancient Summoning event. You'll be involved within Dark Omen event. You'll be involved within Ragnarok event. You'll be involved in the Olympus event. You see, these are what you call key main events. These are ones where you have to compete. So those ones you're going to make sure you're going to pivot very strongly upon, and everyone's going to do it anyway, so you're growing together. These ones you cannot avoid. But then you've got your general everyday tournaments. You can avoid them. You don't have to do every single one of them. The idea is very simple. You need to make sure that you're only doing it because you feel that you need to participate. You're only going there just one time only so you can experience it. You're only doing it when you have enough potions to spend. You're only doing it when you have enough reserves. So you're not spending your gold unwisely. You're playing the story of basically the tortoise and not the hare. And that story, basically, the tortoise beat the hare because of brains and not speed. And that's the whole idea. You're playing the slow game here. It's a slow lane. You're not in SK. You're not in Season of Kingdoms, guys. You're in playing the kingdoms as it is. You're playing with no wallet in mind. You're playing freely. And this is the concept you have to take on, that this is going to be the long game, not a short game style. Okay, so that's number 3. Now, rule number 4. Rule number 4 kind of falls a little bit similar to rule number 3, which I said before. It is not an SK account. You are playing by focusing yourself on key tournaments, you're playing with the idea of not using your gold result. You are playing smart, and you cannot forget that. So rule number 4, more than anything else now, above anything else, is building properly, what you should be focusing on. So that should be focusing on your Captain Carter. You want to be focusing on Carter. You want to make sure that his build is promptly made based on collecting more chests. You want to make sure archaeology is your high focus. And why? Just like SK, the more higher tier level chests you can collect, the more willingness they're able to pick you on, because they know you can collect them in one shot. And that's the other rule of thumb. You should not be collecting chests that take you 2 or 3 or 4 times to collect. That's inefficient. That's not proper play. You want to make sure that when you collect chests, it's one shot and one shot only. And you should pivot to that point, because that's what you should be doing for your Carter. Now, while that's being the main focus there, your next goal is making sure that you focus on building your guards. You want to make sure your economy and your learning and your research focuses solely on guardsmen, and you're building up as much as possible. You want to make sure they're leveling up, and you want to pump them up as fast as possible. If you're not doing that, then your focus should be on your specialists, but not your specialists per se, your army guys, but more towards your boost. It's focusing on army monetization and army boost if your clan provides it. And if they don't, it's okay, because you're still too early. That 3-month period, you may not have anyone quite yet ready yet to achieve that for you. And if that is the case, don't worry about it. It's very normal. You just have to understand that that's where you're currently at. So your focus, sole focus only, would be your guard levels, your monsters, your archaeology, and they're your main focuses during that 3-month period. Heavily focus on that. Rule number 5, you're now to the point where your kingdom bubble has finally popped. You're unable to lie anymore. Your deception is starting to become see-through. You need to leave that kingdom. So you have made friends, I get that. But if you're trying to grow and playing accounts completely free, deception is pretty much the perfect way to get in there if you haven't made any accounts or you're not a senior player yourself. So it's time to leave. Your goal now is to go into older kingdoms with in mind that you have been developing your account. So you need to purchase so under miscellaneous, under your items, you want to make sure you purchase the Kingdom Teleporter. Now that will set you back about 180k gold. Hopefully during this time period, in the 3-month period, you've been playing more safely and more and reserved. This way you're not competing and losing too much gold, and you already land in the top 3 clans. You'll notice by that time you have 180k gold and more, because it's time to leave. So when you purchase this, you're going to be on a high level account. Remember very clearly, guys, to teleport to another kingdom, every 37 days you are stuck within that kingdom. You can't go anywhere else. That's very important. Buy that and it's time to leave. Your goal now, guys, is now to jump into older kingdoms within the kingdom map. So very easy, go to your global area again. You want to make sure you travel back into the older kingdoms. You do not want to remain in the new kingdoms because your power level might is way too low. No, guys, you want to go back to kingdoms level 200 and under, and that's your choice where you want to go. But basically, every couple 100 kingdoms backwards, meaning they're more established, they're more older players, they're more senior. They're not all pretty much basically high tier level players. No. Some of them, a lot of them are still under the same as you. And some of them are just older players moving into newer kingdoms, taking resources because it's more abundance of items to collect, more things to do. And that's why they travel there. Your goal here, guys, is to make sure you take charge of where you are at and you land yourself in an old kingdom. And by doing so, what you're going to see here is that you're going to be sitting in a clan where their point system are high level might. They might be in the 2 billion might, 3 billion might, 4 billion might, wherever they are. But what you're trying to do is to try to hit into a clan which is about several million might, which is above your several hundred million might-ish and so forth and above. Because you're not ready yet to hit into the billion might clans. They won't accept you. When you find yourself sitting in clans where you've just popped out, I find a lot of you are still God level 5 or God level 6 or 7, give or take, but not many of you are very high. A lot of you who happen to hit God level 8 in 3 months period, well done, but the majority of you are just not going to be there. A lot of you are quite under that point. And because of that, your goal now is to reach into an older kingdom where you're sitting in there, where you can reside yourself in their clan and grow with them, but within the top 5 clans now instead of the top 3, or even the top 10 clans, because your account will be only at God level 5, 6 or 7, give or take. When you go to step 6 of the 10 rule stepping that you need to follow, what you're going to find here, you're going to find in step 6 here, like I said earlier, that your account will only be a guard 5, guard 6, or guard 7 account at the moment. So you need to situate in a clan where they're 2 tiers level ahead of you. Why I say that, which is extremely important, if you don't get into a clan that have more players that are 2 tiers above you, it's just no different to when you buy mercs. When you're low tier guards, you can only buy low tier mercs. If you have low tier mercs, it means you can't hit as hard as you can. It's no different when you're in a clan. You want to make sure that there are higher tier players here, because that way when they go, this for example, you hit the Golden Tin Man, for example, you want to kill it each time, or Ragnarok, or all those major key tournaments, what they're delivering and giving back to the clan is high level tier chests and high level tier players, and that means they're hitting heroics, they're hitting tournaments that count, they're making sure you grow, they themselves grow, and therefore you're growing with them, because you're at the lower end, they're at the higher end. So always try to land into a clan where majority of them are 2 tier levels ahead of you, way above. And I'm talking about majority of them, not the minority, the majority. All right, that's very important. Tip number 7, guys, is you need to make sure that that clan is killing their Tin Man every single time it comes up. Reason is, if you find yourself you're sitting in a clan where they're unable to kill the Tin Man, well, let's face it, where's your gold? Where's your resources? Where are your items? Where can you collect all the main chests that you need for that particular day? Some clans rely so heavily on the Tin Man's defeat or getting resources for the next following week, or you're not going to be getting the silver, gold, and resources you need to play on. So if your clan cannot do that, you're in a weak clan. I'm sorry to say that, but you're in the wrong type of clan that you need to pivot. You've got to move away as fast as possible and get somewhere where it actually focuses on you. Because if they can't destroy that Tin Man regularly, I'm sorry guys, you're going to be eventually eating out of pocket. That happens to a lot of you guys out there, especially if you're new or medium players. You want to find out that just because a clan says they're decent, it doesn't mean they're decent. You want to make sure they're hitting high tiers. You want to make sure that they're doing well in Ragnarok. They're doing well within the Tin Man event. They're doing well in Olympus. They're doing well in Dark Omen. They're doing well where they're promising they're doing well at and showing that. And you can see that based on the chests they're collecting and how everyone's performing. Even if you don't need to believe me or not, you can just go back and look at the tournament listing. And by just doing that alone, if you go to any tournament, all you have to do, guys, is to scroll down. You're going to go straight to the divisions where they are, and you see the ranking of the top 100 players. And that alone can tell you how well your clan's performing, because if you're in the top 3 clans of your kingdom, then what you should see there in majority of tournaments, and majority, especially ones that count, is that your clan members' names are on most of them there. And that is a really good pivot point telling you if you should be in that clan or not. And it gives you signs, hints there that your clan is doing quite well for itself, even in its wealth, which is extremely important. We're now moving into point number 8. Point number 8 here is finally at a point where you reach your count at tier 8. Now this is where it gets very difficult. What you find is that just because you're sitting in an account that used to be what you thought was decent, that had a mixture of guard level 5s, guard level 6, 7, maybe one level 8 here and there, that is fun and all when you're still small. But that means very little, very poor for you when you actually hit tier 8, because when now you're in tier 8 and tier 9, it's in the trillions to earn CP, it's in trillions in earning VP. And if you can't pivot to your point in gaining points at this degree, then you don't actually in the correct clan here. That means that you're in the incorrect era and your growth is going to plummet very quickly. And remember guys, you're playing freely. You're not putting a single cent into your account. So this means you're relying very heavily on clan's overall performance. Now it's time to leave once more. You're going to get your teleporter, get out of there, or you have to find out very quickly where you're sitting in the top 3 clans within your new kingdom, right? You want to make sure you're at the very top of at the whole time. But you'll find that most people will accept you at guard level tier 8 and 9, especially if those are at that level. Most clans will accept you. But you want to grow your account. So you can't go in a clan which has that mixture. You can only go in clans which has a mixture of tier 8 and tier 9 only. And even at that point, some tier 9 account clans won't accept that. They'll only accept tier 9 only. Reason is because you can't perform at that level. For those who don't know about what that means, it's because your growth and your level up really rely heavily on each other. So if you happen to be in a tier 8 clan, sometimes you are fixed in just a tier 8 clan only. Until you hit your tier 9, then they'll accept you to the tier 9 clan. Then there are those who accept both the slash between tier 8 and tier 9, and eventually you'll get there together. But that really matters. When you're on that high tier level, all that matters is collecting those high level chests. And you will survive and grow and prosper but you have to follow the steps step by step. Tip number 9 and tip number 10 kind of fall in the same boat. I say this because it's all about focusing on where your account is. You've been playing smart, you've been the turtle, not the hare, you've been growing, you've been taking each step as I told you, and now you find yourself at the top of your pinnacle of where your account can possibly be at. At this stage here, you're now going to ask yourself this one question: where do I go from here? The answer is there is no limits. You can keep on playing to a point of getting maximum levels. I find that Gold Warriors have continuously built on the idea of building higher tier levels for every account and building now experience momentum, as you can see within seasonal. That's now provided you to help you grow even further and to raise your levels even higher. But every couple of months, I've noticed they've been focusing coming back to their accounts and pumping what that max level is. And if you want to find out what that max level is without really following out information, it's very easy. Just go back to your heroes, and if you look under our girl Valencia, you remember that her ability is about gifts. Now her gifts are based on the highest tier level. So a very nifty trick is go to the very end here, and the max level is 600. In the past, guys, the max level was only 300-ish. That's all it was. So she is your girl to determine. Even if you don't follow updates, you just have to go to the max level and find out where her max level is, and she will always trump and go to that area because she kind of trends basically. For wherever the highest levels are, she follows that area and she follows those people. So the highest level, you can always get your information through her. So that's a very easy trick to do. Click here, go to the very end, and you can find what the max level is. I'll tell you the next couple of months, level 600 is going to go up again, without a doubt. And that's how the game works. Going back to tournaments and so forth, what's important here, guys, is that when you reach the pinnacle of your level, usually for those who reach the billion mites, you start playing a bit slower, or you might start upping your game a bit. And the main focus here now looks more between tournaments like KVK, tournaments like the Great Ancient to make sure you're constantly killing it, to help your clan members grow, and tournaments like COT, basically trying to be king and owning the palace and making sure your clan stands on the top. These become more the pivoting points for those who are in the billion mite and above, as they're trying to reach the top of the top and being at the top and earning as much titles as possible, depending where you are. The game will never get old, not really. When you finally reach your main goals there, you can also become a ruler of your own. You can be a king of your own kingdom. You become a clan leader. You start owning your own clans. You start to become a teacher. You start pivoting off to a lot of different things. So there's a lot of things to achieve here, but these are your 10 steps in play this game completely free without spending a single cent. Follow those 10 step guides step by step, listen to my guidance, and if you do that, you will play freely. You will play absolutely freely to a game that demands you to pay to win, which is basically more about temptation. You can play this game completely free without the need of anyone's help. Hopefully that's been helping you out, guys. As always, leave a like, subscribe, put a comment down below, and see you guys again in the next TBF episode. Bye now. Hey Warriors, before you march off, here's how to stay connected and power up your game. The TBF Alex Patreon is officially live. Look at the link below. Join the TBF family for exclusive perks, early content, behind-the-scenes updates, and a private chat where we hang out and plan the next big moves together. And if you want to track your progress like a pro, check out the #1 chess tracker for Total Battle, the TB Clan Portal affiliate link below. It's your ultimate tool for mastering events, rewards, and strategies. For all business inquiries or collaborations, reach out to me on totalbattleforevergaming@gmail.com. And if you're serious about growing a gaming channel or want to team up, let's build something epic together. Subscribe, join the army, and keep the battle alive. This is TBF Alex signing off. Let's go.